Several current and former WWE personalities, including Randy Orton, Rhea Ripley, and Ivar, recently took to social media to react to former cruiserweight champion Tony Nese's emotional update. The 39-year-old currently performs in All Elite Wrestling. Nese signed with World Wrestling Entertainment in 2016 and debuted during the Cruiserweight Classic tournament. The star jumped ship to the main roster in September 2016 but continued to wrestle on 205 Live, where he eventually won the Cruiserweight Championship by defeating Buddy Matthews, FKA Buddy Murphy. However, in June 2021, the 39-year-old was released from his contract, and since then he has been performing in AEW. Tony Nese recently took to Instagram to share that he and his wife were blessed with twin boys. Nese also shared a photo of his wife and the babies and sent an emotional message in the caption of the post. Several current and former WWE personalities reacted with a like on Tony Nese's emotional post, including Randy Orton, Rhea Ripley, Swerve Strickland, Chris Jericho, Dexter Lumis, Mercedes Moné, Heath Slater, Andre Chase, and more. Meanwhile, Ivar, Jinder Mahal, Enzo Amore, Elias, Alicia Fox, Lexis King, and Raquel Rodriguez sent their love to Nese in the comments section. Tony Nese believes John Cena is one of the greatest guys ever in WWE. Following his departure from WWE in 2021, Tony Nese talked about John Cena in an interview with Matthew Rehwoldt on Straight Shooting. During the conversation, Nese praised the Cenation leader by saying that the latter was one of the greatest guys he ever met in the Stamford-based promotion. The former Cruiserweight champion also revealed that the 16-time world champion used to sit and watch the whole 205 Live show even if his segment had gotten over hours before on SmackDown. He's probably one of the coolest, greatest guys that I've ever met. Because when we first started, Cena was on the road pretty much full-time, and he would be the first segment on SmackDown, and then he'd stay the whole show to sit at the chair and watch the monitor. He would sit all through 205, watch everyone's match. Tony Nese has yet to win anything significant in AEW. It will be interesting to see what the Tony Khan-led promotion has planned for the former WWE star's future. Randy Orton, Rhea Ripley, Ivar, and the rest of the WWE locker room were gathered backstage after an electric episode of Raw, when news broke of a former WWE champion's emotional personal update. This wasn't a typical headline about in-ring rivalries or upcoming matches. It was deeply personal, and the reactions from everyone were immediate and heartfelt. The superstar at the center of this news was none other than Drew McIntyre. The Scottish Warrior, known for his resilience and determination inside the ring, had just opened up about a recent loss in his family. Drew, who had always been a symbol of strength for his fans, revealed that his mother had passed away after a long battle with illness. He took to social media to share a touching tribute to the woman who had inspired his journey, both in wrestling and in life. The update struck a chord with the WWE Universe and the locker room alike. Randy Orton's response: "You've always been a warrior." Orton, known for his tough demeanor and sometimes cold persona, was one of the first to reach out privately to Drew. Despite their fierce rivalry in the past, Randy respected Drew as both a competitor and a man. He remembered the wars they had waged in the ring, particularly when Drew was on his quest to prove he could carry WWE as its top champion. Reading the news, Orton was visibly shaken. It wasn't often that someone like Orton showed emotion. Rhea Ripley, it's okay to feel broken. Rhea Ripley, the dominant force of the Judgment Day, had always carried herself with an aura of intensity and intimidation. But outside the ring, Rhea was someone who cared deeply for her friends and colleagues. When she saw Drew's post, she immediately connected with the pain of loss. Rhea wasn't one to mince words, and when she found Drew backstage later in the evening, she was direct but compassionate. "It's okay to feel broken," she told him. "You don't always have to be the strongest person in the room. We're human before we're superstars." Drew appreciated the blunt honesty in her words. He knew Rhea had been through her own personal struggles, and her words carried weight because of it. The two shared a quiet conversation, with Rhea offering her support not as a colleague, but as someone who understood the complexities of grief. Ivar, she's always with you. Ivar, one half of the Viking Raiders, was known for his boisterous personality and larger-than-life charisma in the ring. Outside of it, though, he was one of the more spiritual members of the locker room. His Viking persona wasn't just a gimmick, he lived by the values of strength, honor, and family. When he saw Drew backstage, Ivar approached him with a somber expression, clasping Drew's shoulder. "In my culture," Ivar said, "we believe that those we lose are always with us, watching over us from Valhalla. Your mother is always with you, Drew, guiding you." Drew smiled faintly, appreciating the sentiment. He had always admired Ivar's connection to his heritage and spirituality. They talked for a while, with Ivar sharing stories about how he had coped with losses in his own life, offering Drew comfort through shared experience. The locker room's collective support. As word spread throughout the WWE locker room, more and more superstars came forward to show their support for Drew. Roman Reigns, always a locker room leader, sent a message from SmackDown, telling Drew to take as much time as he needed and that the entire roster had his back. Becky Lynch, someone who had always had a close friendship with Drew, reached out to remind him that family is what matters most, and that no one expected him to be a hero right now. Even someone like The Miz, who often found himself at odds with Drew on screen, put aside any storyline differences. "This isn't about wrestling, man," Miz said. "It's about life. Take care of yourself." Backstage, the atmosphere was heavy yet supportive. Drew had always been someone the entire locker room respected, and now they were rallying behind him not just as a champion, but as a human being who needed love and support in a difficult time. Drew's emotional update. Drew eventually gathered the strength to address his fellow superstars. In a heartfelt speech, he thanked everyone for their support. He talked about his mother's unwavering belief in him and how she had always been his biggest fan. "Every time I step into that ring, I do it with her spirit behind me," Drew said, his voice cracking with emotion. "She's the reason I'm standing here today." He paused, trying to maintain his composure. "I won't lie and say I'm okay. But I'm going to keep pushing forward, because that's what she would want. Thank you all for having my back." The locker room erupted in applause, many superstars wiping away tears as they showed their appreciation for Drew's strength and vulnerability. Moving forward together. As the night came to a close, Drew sat quietly in his locker room, reflecting on the overwhelming support he had received. It was a reminder that WWE was more than just a place of work, it was a family.